like
Do it live.
routinely, religiously.
Yeah.
We're here.
No, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Charm City Beat. We're live, and as Jordan said, as we were coming online, um, no, we've been doing this all year. This has been exciting. We've done LitTube, Charm City Media for about shit 7 years, something like that. I don't know, eight since 2016, whatever the hell that is. And we've covered a lot of sports. We covered a lot of Ravens. This has by far been my favorite. This is big kudos to you guys, my partners in crime here. Just an amazing, exciting Ravens team to follow. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to the AFC Championship. Oh man, yeah, this is.
Kevin Zeiler's thumbs up.
No, this is awesome. So excited. We have a lot to talk about today's episode, but guys, how y'all feeling? How y'all feeling?
I am absolutely amped, and we'll obviously get into it a little bit. But Lamar Jackson, Pat Mahomes, two really good defenses. This is I mean, if you're a Ravens fan, you wanted the Chiefs because they're the best of the best. Like, if you really want to not have an act, like, if you want to be like, this is the best season in Ravens history potentially, like, you have to go
Yeah.
through Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs. And if you knock them off, there's no more narrative surrounding Lamar Jackson's ability to win against good quarterbacks in the playoffs. There's no more narrative about the Ravens. It's just they'll silence all the doubters, and they go and they'll play the NFC against two teams that they absolutely smash in the regular season.
Yeah.
So I'm absolutely stoked, and it's in Baltimore, boys, and we're going to be there.
We're gonna be there. All three of us. All three of us are gonna be there. This is Ross. I'm gonna let you talk. Sorry, brother.
I got nothing.
Ross is like, this is so casual. No, it's exciting. No, this is great. I mean, if you're a football fan, especially of this new era of football that we've kind of, you know, we're in it. This is it. This is it. And I mean, this is about as good as it gets. Great offense, great defense, both sides of the ball. I actually reposted something on Facebook. I said this is the equivalent to Brady versus Manning. This is modern day Brady versus Manning, and you can't tell me different. This is marquee football. The rivalry's there. They've been compared to each other both their careers. It doesn't get better than this, man. But
no, no.
yeah, but to get to this game coming Sunday, we will talk about it. We had to beat the Houston Texans, which we did. And I'm gonna be real with you, man. Like I think this was one of the first, I mean, definitely one of the first playoff games where I had like zero doubts about us. Zero. Like there was no doubt about it. I knew the defense was going to come in. Again, CJ Stroud is going to have a great career. He is a great quarterback, and he has proven that. But that's a better defense. That's a better offense in the second half, making adjustments. What?
What's an offensive adjustment at halftime? I don't. Do we do that?
Apparently.
I mean I'm not gonna lie. A little bit at halftime, I started to get a little worried. I'm like, oh crap. But then later that day, I saw Lamar's picture of his face. I was like, oh, never mind.
Yeah.
That dude is pissed.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a few moments in that game where you just saw Lamar's leadership, and we all the talk is about his halftime speech that no one actually ever got to hear. But like there was a moment I think early on where actually all of the second half, Stanley missed the block
Oh,
horribly, and Lamar
oh
went
yeah.
into him, and he went into Stanley, and then who's he fucking running behind into that end zone later on? Stanley, and who's the first person that he goes to congratulate? Stanley, and it just shows you the leadership. And then later on, he throws it low to Likely in the end zone, and they both just there's a communication like just get it up, give me the chance, and Lamar did, and he caught it, and the ability for Lamar to lead on the field and in the locker room and be that vocal piece, his maturity is shining through in the most critical moments in the season, and that's really fun to see.
Yeah. No, without a doubt. I've said for the last 5, 6, 7 years or so, I just think leadership was missing, a central core leader. And we get it on both sides of the ball, whether it be Roquan on the defense or Lamar on offense. We have solid leadership discipline This is a very disciplined team. I mean, how often have we been able to say that about the Ravens? A disciplined team. It's not often because usually I'm used to 1,000,001 false starts and holding calls. But no, everybody across the board looks sharp and they're playing their best football. And we're lucky fans to be able to enjoy this.
Whoever's idea, I saw someone else say this, to rotate our tackles this year, they need a raise.
Yeah.
I don't, because Stanley gave up nothing. Like I said, he might have got yelled at by Lamar, and like I said, he's like, oh, okay. And the next few times he run behind Stanley, touchdown.
Yep.
That fourth down. That's and also everyone talks about, why is Ricard on this team? You just follow Ricard to the ball. Well, guess what? You follow Ricard to the ball. Yeah, we got Lamar running down the sideline because you all followed Ricard.
Yep.
And I kind of got the feeling that Lamar was going to let it loose a little bit with his legs in this game. He's been, honestly, I think all year deliberately not running because he hasn't really needed to, but you kind of knew he could if he wanted to.
Yeah.
Which I think is why it's frustrating we lost to the Colts and the Steelers because he could have done a little bit more of that. I think we would have beaten those teams, but he just let it all out against the Texans, and it's scary. He got 100 yards, and it seemed like it was easy. And if you're the Chiefs, you got to be like, fuck. What do we do, boys? How do you defend what we just watched against a good Houston front?
Yeah, because I don't know if you guys watched any of the Chiefs, but actually, yeah, we were texting the whole fucking time. But Josh Allen, as slow as he was getting busy, and he ain't nowhere near the athlete Lamar Jackson is. I'm putting money on that. Come on, Chiefs defense. I don't know.
That's a good point. And I love the way Cook ran at the end of that football game. That one run, I think you're going to see him a little more in this football game. And I think Gus, they're going to run the football against this Kansas City Chiefs team. And on the other side of the ball, I think they're going to try to run the ball against us. Pache really ran well against Buffalo at boy can run. So I'm a little scared of that, but
yeah,
it's gonna be a good game. So I mean, I think the offense of the Ravens is going to be a little tough.
It will be. No, it was an amazing game. Probably the coldest fucking game I've ever been to. Honestly, it wasn't as bad. If you came prepared like I was, it wasn't that bad.
You went to Christmas Eve last year. You know cold. That was not Christmas Eve last year. I heard one beer was semi slushy, and that's
who was that? I remember hearing that too much.
The guys behind us.
That's who it was. Okay.
Man, Gerald was, if you had to go to the Ravens game at 6 and whatever, and then you had to go to Wisp to go skiing later at 11, like you were ready.
We had snowboarding pants on. We weren't playing a fucking game. Dude, I spend most of my time in the woods anyway. So it's like I'm used to being in the elements. I'm like, yeah, we're coming prepared. Like we're not messing around. I heard about the Miami game. I did not go to that one, so I was like, I'm not going to make the mistake.
Yeah, I was cold too. I was cold.
Yeah, I get there. You guys are in jeans, and I'm just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like you guys are just in straight up jeans. I'm like, is it not 10 degrees outside? It's like I feel like I'm overdressed.
Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah, back to the game as a whole. I mean, again, I didn't expect it to be pass heavy. Just given the weather, I feel like it's probably pretty terrible to try to catch balls and stuff like that. It's just gotta be a pain in the ass. So I think the Ravens game plan was perfect. The stadium could not have been more rocking. Wow. That was insane. And this is coming from a guy that for the first probably third of the game was a little blurry, had a little too much fun. But after the Jimmy Eat World halftime show, it was nuts, man. That was, we gotta bring that shit this Sunday, no question.
The Ravens do such a good job of just like working you into a frenzy. Like it's like I almost can't handle the amount of like stuff that happens in a 5-minute span between the tunnel and the airplanes and Cal Ripken and Jacoby Jones. And and like you said, I can barely remember any of it, but like that was just such a good party atmosphere. Ray Lewis was there. pumping up the crowd. Carmelo Anthony was there. It's like, Jesus God. Like, and I think it's even a bigger party this time. I can't imagine who they're bringing out of that tunnel. I know Mark Andrews probably coming out of that tunnel.
He
But
better.
then Swift's going to be in the house. It's going to be an absolute fun football game on Sunday. But to your point, the Texans weren't ready for it, I don't think. And it
No.
kind of showed. And even though the Ravens were a little rusty, I think a little slow coming out of the gate, I think the Justin Tucker field goal sort of calmed them down early, hitting a 53-yarder like that.
Mm.
I think it set the tone. And the defense was like, well, that's all we freaking need.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was unbelievable. And then the Ravens just needed to get going. And once they got going, it was game over. And hopefully they can just keep it going now.
No. Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, in terms of fan experiences, there is I argue that M&T Bank is second to none. No, like it is insanely fun, whether it be real fan Dan on the screen, freaking shirtless in 10-degree weather doing the Ravens chant. No, it's exciting. It's great. Um, this is a historic weekend, though. I mean, this is the first AFC championship at home in team history ever for the Ravens, but also the first in Baltimore since the 1970 season when the Colts hosted the Raiders.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you got, like, if you can get there, get there. It's like, this is, I'm not saying this is once in a lifetime, like it isn't going to happen, but at this point it is once in a fucking lifetime. There's not a Ravens fan that has ever seen such a thing. So
it will never be the first. So
yeah. You can
And
put your
I've
name
heard
on.
a couple people say this is the greatest Ravens team they've ever seen.
Yeah.
Some are arguing it's one of the greatest football teams ever assembled. I guess the way we're just dismantling 500 football teams, which there probably is a point. And I think someday there might be a 30 on 30 on this effing football team by the time we're done.
Hey,
But I think what's that?
Including the playoffs, we have beaten 11 teams above 500.
damn.
The last
Never
three
happened.
teams
Never
who
happened.
did that 10 times won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And to think that, I mean, tickets are going fast. People, I think they sold out in 6 hours. People always want to be there for this football game. And yeah, I mean, we're in our 30s. I've yet to see the Orioles in the World Series. Like, I don't know if the Ravens will. You don't know. I mean, there's 10 NFL teams that have never won the Super Bowl. The Eagles took forever. It could be forever again before we ever get back because you never know. Football's a fickle sport. Players get hurt, players leave. Who knows? They can repeat it. You just never know. You can't take any of this stuff for granted. So I think this is a season where you just got to go all in, and we're locked in. And I'm excited for it.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, the more and more I watch this team, and it's like, again, I probably say this like once a fucking episode. The questions that we had about this team going into this, like, we didn't know what was going to happen. What genius Eric DaCosta had. I mean, this is pure genius. Two world-class caliber coordinators. John Harbaugh, one of the best head coaches, if not probably when all is said and done, probably the best. Who knows? No, I mean, we just didn't know. There were so many questions, and to see all this come together, to be here January 23rd, live on YouTube, to talk about this, dude, it doesn't get better than this, man.
Not at all. And I'm so excited. I just keep repeating it, but like for Lamar Jackson, like to just like with his play prove. I mean, you're starting to see it even in like chat rooms and comment sections and stuff. People are the narrative's changing this already. Like he won that football game, and now it's like the next big thing is Mahomes. And if we beat Mahomes, I mean, I think it's over. I mean, no one's gonna have any arguments anymore.
No, again, there's a reason why I say this is Brady versus Manning. This is a new generation's top tier heavyweight quarterback just going at it. There's no question. And I mean, obviously for Raven fan, there's never been a question, but in the media, no, the voices are silent. I spend my lunch breaks watching coverage, through YouTube. And I've listened to the narrative go from he isn't good enough. He runs too much. He does this, he does that, to where it was like, okay, he's starting to beat the Dolphins. He's beating the Lions and, now the 49ers. And here we are in the AFC fucking championship.
I don't know about you guys, but I feel like the 49ers game for me is when it really sort of happened. Like leading into that game, it was all like the Lions aren't that good. I don't think the Seahawks, these were okay teams on the road. Like we are what we thought we were,
Yeah.
but we're probably going to lose to the 49ers or win a close one. But then to just absolutely beat the piss out of them on national television, it changed everything.
Yeah.
Everything. And I think the entire country was like, hold up. What the F did we just watch?
Everybody but Richard Sherman, of course.
Yeah.
Mike Florio, those guys. I mean, just absolutely demolished. When you think about that, again, to play a total of 4 quarters of just great football against, at that point, most people would consider them the best football team in the NFL.
Yeah.
Come on. That is
And
the new Ravens way, gentlemen.
It's amazing. And it was part of a string of wins where they beat the Rams, and who I still think had the best offense in the NFC. They beat the Jaguars in prime time. They beat the 49ers in prime time. They beat the Dolphins in essentially a prime time game because of the fact that it was like the big 1 o'clock game. Like they got everyone's attention in a month span, and Lamar was player of the month. And I think everyone was just like, okay, here we go. Let's see if they can keep it going. And they did. They beat the Texans last week to keep the party rolling.
Yeah. Oh man. No, this is an exciting time to be a Ravens fan. If you did talk any shit in the past, a lot of people I know have said a lot of words, but we're not going to call any names. We got receipts. We got it. Yeah. This weekend, obviously, big game. Weather's going to be completely different. Like I said, we're going to touch base on the Chiefs game coming up. It's going to be supposed to be rainy, I think. Definitely
keeps changing. Every time I look, it's different.
I'll take cloudy. Can it just be cloudy? Like, nice, cool 45-degree day. Can I get that? Oh man. No, compared to the way it's been. But yeah, so Saturday, of course, 49ers came back to beat Green Bay 27-24, which I was a little surprised. I thought Green Bay could pull the upset. I thought that was gonna happen. It did not. Detroit, man, this Cinderella story, honestly, because I don't want to say too much about us yet, but I think in terms of like who could potentially win it, I think Detroit might go to the Super Bowl for the NFC.
Yeah, I think they've got that magic touch that I think you see. I think the 49ers have not been the same since the Ravens played them. I think it's obvious. I think they're outlasting teams by the skin of their teeth. And so I think, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if the Detroit Lions went in there and won that football game because they're just playing at a whole other level right now, and golf's playing as well as they've ever played.
I'm pretty sure the San Francisco lost Debo, and as we talked about one before we played them, when Brock Purdy loses someone of an offense, that offense is all of a sudden just falls apart.
Yeah. Yeah. And they really terrorized Baker Mayfield, who had a lot like the Texans Browns, like Baker Mayfield balled out against the Eagles. And I think it just kind of showed you how bad some of those football teams were in the wild card round. That it allowed players like Stroud and Jordan Love and stuff to just go absolutely bananas. But big boys are playing now. And I think the Lions proved that they belonged in that conversation. They've been there all year, really. It's kind of lurking under the Ravens destroyed them too, and I think that kind of set them back. It's unbelievable if you go see what the Ravens have done to football teams, ruining their freaking psyche. I mean, these teams aren't this. They takes them forever to get back to going. I think it's so funny.
I mean, if you were looking at the pass rush, the Ravens will throw at you. You got Matabike in your face. You'll have Owe off the edge. I mean, Kyle Van Noy's there. I mean, again, for a quarterback, especially someone like Brock Purdy, who I think is pretty young, that's pretty daunting. The Lions offense, I mean, again, yeah, the Ravens are just disruptors. And with what's left in the NFC, and again, I don't want to say too much because I'm very superstitious. Who knows? The other game, Kansas City versus the Bills. Buffalo, once again. Who's Josh Allen? Who are the Bills?
You gotta feel for Josh Allen because I feel like Joe Burrow gets hurt, that
Mhm.
opportunity. No. I feel like he's somehow managed to keep falling down the quarterback level every freaking year. Now he's probably the fourth best quarterback in the AFC, maybe even the NFL,
Yeah.
at least the NFL. But it's wild to me because now it's like, what do you do if you're Buffalo? Because it's so demoralizing to get this far, and yet, and also that game felt like an AFC Championship game. It really did, and it just wasn't. It was a divisional round, and I just wonder what that's going to do for the Chiefs because I feel like so much energy and physicality was placed in that football game, and now that it's like turn around and it's like even bigger beast is waiting for you in the Ravens, a
Yeah.
much better defense, a much better offense, a kicker that can actually fucking put the ball through the uprights, and dare I say, a more raucous stadium. I
Way better.
I think the Chiefs are gonna have to like reset themselves a little bit in a way that maybe they've never had to do before, which I think is really intriguing.
I mean, yeah, like I mean, as Raven fans, we should know what it's like to have a division round or a championship decided by a kick that just zooms away. But to be fair, as we also should know, there's usually a play that precedes that.
Hmm.
Second down, Stephon Diggs, wide open across the middle, and Josh Allen tries to throw it deep to someone. The next play, he gets hit trying to throw it deep, and oh, look, now we're kicking a 40, 50 something yard field goal. Clearly, we knew the wind was pushing the ball that way.
Yeah, that didn't make sense to me. The play calling at the end there, it's like, why are we just throwing Hail Marys for no reason? Like, again, different, lesser quarterbacks, whatever.
And I also think that even if the Bills make that field goal, there's like a minute and a half left. You cannot tell me Pat effing Mahomes wasn't going to go the distance and get
Oh,
at least a
they
field
could
goal.
minute and a half. He could go the distance like 12 times in them. What did it? 13 seconds at one
13
time?
seconds, yeah. Yeah, I mean that's what's coming to Baltimore, unfortunately. So like, it's going to be a really, it's not going to be the case. I will say I think the Ravens win
Yeah.
convincingly, but I think it's going to take a little bit to get to that point.
Yep.
And I think that Pat Mahomes, I mean, they've scored a touchdown. I think a touchdown field goal on every drive to start a game this year, which I think is wild to me. Like I mean, it's just a different beast. It's a guy that's been the six straight eighth championships. He's got two MVPs. He's been to the Super Bowl three times. He's won two of them. Like, it's unbelievable. He's probably the greatest quarterback maybe ever. I think he's definitely right behind Tom Brady, but when it's all said and done, he's only 27 years old, right?
Yeah.
28 years old.
He's not even 30.
It's
I guess
unbelievable.
it's the first matchup between two former MVP quarterbacks under the age of 30.
That's wild.
It's unreal. It's unreal. And I think I'm just so excited for it. And I think the fact that the Ravens can get that pass rush with four guys, that they can do it with Matabuke and just a Clowney and a Van Noy in a way, like, I'm
Yeah.
excited for it.
And I'm pretty sure one of their top offensive linemen got hurt. Tunley or whatever, but so
Yeah, of course, this episode we are doing kind of a combined review preview episode. So we don't have a full injury report, but we will definitely post something on Twitter. Definitely announcing that. Obviously, the Ravens will put it out there and whatever. But yeah. 3-1. Chiefs right now are 3-1 in this series, this Mahomes Lamar series. We were there for the one that Lamar won. I remember that very well. Showing off the jersey. Oh yeah, because that's what happened. I almost forgot how that game almost ended. But huh? Sorry.
So it ended fumble by Owe.
Oh man, we're gonna and always healthy, so maybe history can repeat itself. Yeah, it's gonna be a schematic chess match. I mean, you have two of the top coaches. Again, you have John Harbaugh, who was a former assistant to Andy Reid, and I heard something that Andy Reid has never lost to a former assistant or some shit like that, but also saw that teams that play Josh Allen in the playoffs or beat him, they don't win afterwards. So I don't know. Some curse record is gonna get broken this weekend. And yeah.
Speaking of 99 real quick, I'm almost positive that was Michael McCurry that costed Ross in the parking lot after he appeared on the TV screen, and it looked just like him. And I was like, why
Could you
was Michael McCurry?
imagine?
I think it was. I think it was. I swear to God, I think it was.
Just yelling at me. I was like, I didn't give him the number. I just
Oh God,
came around the pole the second time.
that's
Hey,
awesome.
earned that.
He's probably
Okay.
waiting for you to recognize him. It's like, oh, who the fuck this crazy guy is?
It was. I think it was definitely him because when he showed up, I was like, looks
That's
just
cool.
like that dude in the parking lot.
That's crazy.
It's awesome.
No,
That's awesome.
again, we're gonna try to get to the game early. Obviously, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Definitely more try to contain the fun so I can remember more of it. But
Yeah,
it's gonna be a great fucking time.
I don't think I'm gonna go as heavy early.
Yeah.
Um, because I want to enjoy this football game. I want to take it all in and drink it
This is
all in and
history.
watch the pregame and be able to like maybe go down in the corner and watch them warm up in the end zone. Like really just do the thing that we've been doing all year.
Yeah.
And that I kind of got away from me in this last game because I was just like,
I get there and I'm like, wow, Jordan's already good. All right, I gotta catch up. And then I caught up.
but yeah, I
And
mean, but it was cold as shit, and I think we all
yeah,
kind of knew we were going to blow out the Texans,
yeah.
and so it's just like we're here to have a good time, and it was a great time, and it was fun, and so I'm ready for this one for
Yeah,
sure.
without a doubt. Without a doubt. Game ball.
With,
Oh, sorry.
with Gerald rocking on the perch.
Yeah, crazy.
I,
Holy shit. I found out, yeah, finding that video on IG. I was like, wow, I don't remember that. Totally took that DMX verse like a champ. Um no, it's yeah, I'm hoping a lot of Ravens fans pack the stadium. I know, and God, I've hesitated to talk about this on the show. Jordan mentioned her once, but Taylor Swift is going to be there.
I knew you were trouble when you walked in.
This man just started singing. I mean, it's
It's part of the fun, honestly. It's part
yeah,
of the fun. Hopefully, Jason Kelsey's there, bare
yeah,
chested.
he's my new
It's gonna
favorite.
be
I love
it's a
him.
celebration of just awesome football.
yeah.
And I hope to watch. I hope she gets to watch her boyfriend get castrated on a football field in front of her, like the fucking Red Wedding, or like Game of Thrones when like the mountain kills the viper and like
Watered.
pops his fucking eyes out in front of his wife, and she screams like that's what's gonna happen at the 38-yard line on Sunday.
The Ravens defense is very good against tight ends. I read earlier. We do very good against tight ends. So to take on one of the best, this is another test for the defense.
I mean, how do you approach this team in your eyes? Like, what's the way to stop this Pat Mahomes offense, in your opinion?
I mean, here's the thing: you obviously want to start with containment of the quarterback. But I saw Pat Mahomes do a ring around the rosy of his offensive lineman to get away from a sack, and I've never seen that before. Um, he's not the fastest quarterback either. That's what's really crazy. But if you somehow neutralize, Pat Mahomes, which I feel like the Ravens do well, at least since the last time they play him, it's getting four guys after him every single down. You got to pressure him. If you don't pressure him, well, he's just going to do what he does, and what he does is crazy.
No, if I watching that Bills game, so many times they kept saying, Bills have backup linebackers. Look what Travis Kelsey's doing to AJ Klein. Look at former Raven at one point in some weird backwards way, I remember. But still, just if you take away Kelsey, I mean, they've talked about what years Kelsey and Rice.
Yeah.
If you can take away Rice, and our corner seemed pretty good last week, and that was without Humphrey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Very good.
Yeah, and I think you see Marlon Humphrey in the slot on Sunday when he comes back, and I think you see a really fun blanket of Kyle Hamilton and Humphrey on Kelsey, and I think Stevens will do a good job with Rice, with maybe some Stone over the top, or well, like the Ravens can play three safeties, which is a really great blessing that this football team has, and they can move Hamilton around like the chess piece that he's the queen on the chessboard. It's unbelievable. You can do
Yeah,
everything, up, down,
they,
sideways. And so,
they,
like, and they've never faced him before. They don't know how to play him. They've never faced the Ravens with Roquan Smith before.
No. I honestly didn't even put that into perspective. The fact that Two of our best defenders weren't even there when we beat them with God knows who. Yeah, that's again, the more and more you look at this season, it's almost like you're in Vegas, no pun intended, and you're just going all in. You got all these pieces where we know a lot of them probably aren't going to be there next year. It's an all-in situation. That's what this is.
I think the Ravens were a little rusty, a little not surprised, but they had to get into it a little bit. The Texans coming off a huge win, they were rolling. Like I think they got punched in the mouth a little bit offensively. Defensively, they were never disrupted at all.
Mm-mm.
But I think this game is going to show if the Ravens play 4 quarters of football like they've been doing all year, where they're scoring first in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to win big. And I think the Ravens defense is going to put on a clinic that we have never seen before in the Pat Mahomes era. And I stand by that. Like I honestly believe that.
I couldn't agree more. Game ball. Let's talk it. Game ball goes to no other than MV motherfucking P. Lamar Jackson. 252 total yards with 4 touchdowns, bro. This for you. That's our quarterback. That's my quarterback.
Let's not also forget here. That was his 3rd career playoff game, rushing for 100 plus yards, which was most by quarterback in NFL history. He is also the first player in NFL history, regular or postseason, to have in one single game 2 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns, 100 passing yards, and 100 rushing yards.
He's a video game character.
That's the Ryan Mink special from the Ravens PR team. Shout out to Ryan Mink.
Yeah.
From my hometown of Rising Sun, Maryland. But yeah, that is unbelievable stat to read. And it just shows you he's an MVP like we've never had before because he doesn't put up the numbers. He's like Russell Westbrook. I heard like the comparison. Like he doesn't put up the gaudy stats, but at the end of the day, you're like, that motherfucker's got like triple double.
Yeah.
It's what the hell? Like, and he does it every football game. And if you let him loose, he'll get 5 touchdowns passing or 3. It's unbelievable. The man's unbelievable. And I think that they put so much on tape for the 49. The Chiefs are going to sit down in chairs tomorrow before practice and be like, what the fuck? How do you defend this? You can't.
So on his first rushing touchdown, that Red Sea just zoop.
Yeah.
And he was just gulping. I was like, oh, there's no one there. And then his second one behind Stan, I was like, oh, no one there. He was gone. He ran the tunnel. He was out.
To Gerald's point, they're going to watch tape of the Bills game and just watch how they just got decimated by a 6'5" quarterback that runs a 4.5, and then they're going to be
being
like
generous 4.5.
Lamar Jackson hits that same hole.
Yeah,
he is gone because he's not only is he gone, he can make you miss and just like hit that 4th down play. It was 4th and 2, and they ran it, they bootlegged it out, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And he ran for like 16 yards. Like he did the thing where he stops and they fly by him, and then he like walks to the right a little bit and he runs a little bit, and then he slides. Like that's the kind of it's video game-ish, and it's just unbelievable. And then the next play, he's hitting like Zay Flowers on an end out. Like it's like what the fuck?
You know, Michael Vick crawled so Lamar Jackson could run. You know, people have made that comparison. I think the comparison is still there. Respect to Vic and what he did to revolutionize the position. Him and McNabb and so many others that came before Lamar Jackson. Sure. Just that athletic, fast-paced quarterback. But Lamar Jackson's a beast of his own, bro.
Jackson's, yeah, he's the first one I think that they were going to be like, oh, he's a wide receiver. He's not a quarterback, and he was like, I'm a quarterback. And he's the first one that I think was able to prove that he wasn't a gimmick. Like, remember Pat White, I think, or whatever. Like different guys that got drafted that were quarterbacks, really damn good quarterbacks in the NCAA ranks, and then they just were turned into like wildcat people, and it's unbelievable. It's really a shame, honestly, of what we could have seen even then. But I think he's now made it so that every team wants Lamar Jackson, and so you're seeing. That's why you're seeing Justin Fields get drafted high. That's why That's why Caleb Williams is going to go one, and it's because they can do it all, and it's unbelievable. And I don't think you would have seen the mobile quarterback go this high this early. I think Lamar Jackson would be 1-1 if he was in the draft today.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I mean, you bet back to it. When he played Brady, he went up to him and was like, "Hey, you're the go." Brady's like, "No, you're next."
Yeah.
He now has C.J. Stroud coming up to him
It's
after the game saying, "You're why we're here.
Mm,
You're the inspiration to people like us."
yeah.
He is now the new Vic in that terms. People like, "Hey, he did it. Look what I can do."
Yep.
There are
Exactly.
so many quarterbacks playing high school football right now that are doing what Lamar Jackson, not doing what Lamar Jackson, they're playing that style of football, the backyard football where they're running it, they're throwing it, they're just having a blast. And it was unfathomable, I think, in the NFL even 10 years ago. I think all these players it would have been, let's turn him into a wide receiver. He's a joke.
Yeah.
He's going to drop into the second round. He's a backup. And now everybody wants Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Both C.J. Stroud and Tom Brady within the last week have brought up the same play that basically like he's the one. The whole high school one stop. Oh, okay. Walk in.
Yeah. I
The,
mean,
the fact that both Tom Brady's like, I saw that and I was like, huh, he's gonna be good. And that was in high school.
Yeah.
Tom Brady probably's like, I'm not gonna play him. I know he's gonna play 40
I think
years.
he had 6 touchdown passes in that football game. At least the game he played against Dalvin Cook. Like he was just bombing it up and down the football field.
And
And I think it's just like it's unreal.
someone else posted a stat from one of his Louisville games where it had at least one thing I saw. He had 199 rushing yards, probably tons of passes.
You could easily get 200 rushing yards in a game. So he ran like 7 times against.
Yes, like I said, when I looked up at one point, I was like, oh, that's what Lamar has 97 yards. I didn't. When did that happen?
it
Saw him run
happens like
3 times.
lightning.
I swear to God, twice in the end zone on that fourth down. After that, it was like he's like thinking and dunking it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it happens out of nowhere just because of how fast he plays. Like, again, it's like you really like when he's on the field, you got to be like focused on him. Number one, the play is going to follow him. He's going to direct it, and there's a good chance that he's going to break off a quick run that most players it would take a lot longer to get shorter. You know, he's just that fast, that athletic. You can't touch him. You can't.
And he wants to pass now. Like the likely
He loves
touchdown,
it.
he rolled to he bolted to the right, and then he just like stopped and was like, fuck it. It's unbelievable. And the Aguilar pass for a touchdown, like it's so good to watch. And I'm just so glad he's on our side.
Yeah. I could not imagine. Again, I don't know what happened in the offseason. We'll never know the negotiation process. That may be some expose that EDC does years and years in the future. And it's explained in his Hall of Fame speech when he's talking about it. But whatever happened, I'm grateful for it because I couldn't imagine him on another team. I couldn't
They
imagine
win the
even
Super
our
Bowl.
defense defending him.
If they win the Super Bowl and it's just that fairy tale ending to this year, I think you see a lot of really cool postseason features come out
Mm-hmm.
in the banner, on the athletic, Peter King, where they're gonna get into this team a little bit. And I think they're going to finally be able to reflect a little bit. And you're gonna have guys talk about what Lamar said in that halftime. They're gonna hear what Eric DeCosta's conversations with Lamar Jackson were the night of the draft and all that stuff. And it's already kind of coming out with the Odell Beckham trip
Yeah.
to the Jets and stuff, and I think it's going to keep trickling in, and you're going to get a complete picture of what it's a Hollywood movie we're watching, boys, and it's just unbelievable.
It's straight up cinematic. Could not have said it better myself. Um, yeah, we are here, fellas. Again, like I said, we've been doing this for a few years now. It's been an exciting ride this season specifically. This has been one of my most favorite seasons to film with you guys. Done a lot of cool shit. We've gotten to do a lot of cool shit together, and we're still going to do a lot of cool shit because this train is still going straight to the AFC Championship. But fellas, any last words though before we get out of here?
I think it's to kind of drop a little bit, but I think lost in all that divisional round game because of the whole the Lamar Jackson narrative and the fact of going to the championship and it was the defense. And I think I remember the game last year against the Bengals when Huntley played, and we honestly outplayed the Bengals. That defense, which had half the unit it has now, Matabuke wasn't what he was. Kyle Hamilton was a rookie. Owe was I just feel like I kind of had a feeling going into this playoff that we would hit that next level again. And damn if they didn't.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I'm most excited to see on Sunday against the Chiefs. It's just this defense. Like we found so they're saying it might be the best defense we've ever had. And that's with the 2000 Ravens being on this football team and the 2006 Ravens defense. And by the end of it, there could be 3 or 4 Hall of Famers on this team right now between Roquan Smith, Kyle Hamilton, Matabuke. Like they're all pros and they're young.
Yep.
And so I just think it's just so much fun to watch a team with swagger that wants to hit, that wants to be violent, that wants to kill you. Just it's been a hot minute, and it's so much fun to watch a good Ravens defense play.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, all that well, good. Can't leave out though the Tucker, GOAT again, 53-yard field goal, longest in playoff history. Right, and let's add his name to another regular book because why
It's
not?
so casual now.
And plus also, as we talked about, it was cold, but didn't keep the fans away.
Nope.
5 false starts, 1 delay of game. Have 19 false starts this season, first in the NFL. 9 delay of games. We're one of 2 stadiums that Mahomes admitted he has to go silent count.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the divisional round where you saw the Bills guy obviously missed the game-winning field goal. And you saw the Buccaneers miss a field goal early that I think was like more or less the difference in the football game.
Green
And
Bay.
then you have Justin Tucker. It's like, yeah, Green Bay missed. Yeah, exactly. It's unbelievable. And then meanwhile, we have Justin Tucker, who I think for all his troubles in the regular season, he finds a whole other level that only the greats find. That's why it makes Pat Mahomes so dangerous.
Yeah.
Big Tom Brady so good. He's got that. He's got that it factor. And the fact that it's like he had a 53-yarder, no doubt in my mind. And then that guy missed a field goal later for the Texans, and it's like sucks to suck, bro.
I'm
Like,
glad I didn't get my nuggets, by the way.
Yeah, I forgot.
hell yes.
Pissed off I didn't get my nuggets.
I forgot.
And then he was so excited. He congratulated. Like he was like jumping up and down. Tucker was like, he's never lost that passion, and he's I love him so much.
Speaking of jumping on down and celebrate, I could see it up in fire. I could see Pat Ricard jumping around trying to hug wherever he could. I was like, look at him! Look at Ricard! But also, by the way, I believe Roquan was mic'd up for Ravens Wired.
Nice. Nice. I can't wait for that to drop. When's that drop? Tomorrow?
It'll be tomorrow. Yes.
Yeah.
That man is a walking soundbite, and I fucking love it. Like what he's saying.
Swift code yet.
It's like the Texans are nice, but that Cinderella story just got ended. I was like, damn.
Like I don't know where he comes up with this shit.
How casual he says it too. He's just like, yeah, whatever. I mean, it's like Cleveland. Yeah, they call us dog pound, but yeah, so whatever.
I told security to lock the doors. We'll let them know when they can leave.
And he'll show up in a cowboy outfit.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Like, I'm playing the Texans. All right, I'm going to show up in a cowboy hat. Okay.
Roquan is an absolute legend. But yeah, this weekend, AFC Championships, Ravens versus Chiefs. It doesn't get more cinematic than that. We will all be in attendance. There's gonna be a lot of content coming out throughout the week throughout Twitter, YouTube. We'll probably do one more video. Who knows? We'll see. But that being said, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you are going to the game, please get there. Please be loud. Please shake that fucking stadium. Like disrupt it. Just be disruptors because again, this is the biggest home game in Ravens history right now. So yeah, don't forget to like and